日本時間11月8日、スポーツジャーナリストでもあり、メッツの大ファンのサマンサ・クロストン氏とアシュリー・ウェンスコスキー氏が自身のポッドキャスト番組で、メッツはドジャースから何を学べるかについて語りました。また、番組内では、ナショナルリーグ MVP の話題になり、大谷選手について語る場面も。ここからは、その様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Here's the other thing. I'm not sure if we have this person's name or not, because I think it would be good to have.
Yeah.
But collectively, Ashley and I thought that one of the most interesting comments that we saw from this week, so if this is you, thank you, was someone who asked, what can the Mets take from the Dodgers run? So interesting, food for thought, really had the wheels turning in both of our minds. Thinking about, you know, what we thought they could take there. Because again, we've talked multiple times on this podcast about how clearly as Mets fans, we see the gravity of how hard it is to even win one World Series, to make it 162 games and beyond into the playoffs. But to do it twice, it's like the Dodgers made it look easy. So I think that there are some really interesting discussions we can have surrounding that question.
Well, I think obviously the first glaring red light there is the starting pitching, right? The Mets fell apart this year down the stretch because they simply did not have the starting pitching to compete with the Dodgers or honestly anybody else. The Mets fell apart in the second half. They couldn't even beat good teams, let alone playoff World Series champion caliber teams. The Dodgers were so deep with that starting pitching. That's ultimately what won it for them. I think, you know, even seeing a guy like Yamamoto, who is a starter, be able to come in and flex and give you long relief. Obviously, that was kind of an outlier when you're looking at that. But the Dodgers headed into the postseason, a 7-game series, a 5-game series, so dangerous because you had Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, and then Ohtani. Like, you had 4 deep starting, like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D almost, which is so difficult to replicate. I'm not sure I can sit here and say that the Mets or anyone can ever replicate that or can strive to, having 4 ace caliber guys. But the message is clear that you need deeper starting pitching that the Mets just did not have this year.
Well, this is kind of what it made me think about was, you know, I think there have been times that we've sat down at this table, as we sometimes do, and discussed, you know, when David Stearns had a great deal or got a guy for a great price. But it had me thinking, if the Mets have one of the biggest payrolls in baseball, and so do the Dodgers, why are the Dodgers living large, spending lavishly, and the Mets are trying to grab every deal and steal that they can find? A part of me felt like perhaps the Mets should just be spending more, taking bigger chances, going for bigger fish if they can. It's not like there's a guy who's asking us this question in the comments and we're the Brewers and we have to try and figure out how to get the money together. Like, if the Mets have all this money to spend and their owner is a billionaire, perhaps we should be doing that. Perhaps we should be making bigger deals at the trade deadline and whatever it is. Like, I know that there's a lot more that goes into that. It takes 2 to tango. But perhaps we should continue to do things like the Juan Soto signing, because you obviously see the result of that now. I get it. It didn't pay off as far as the playoffs are concerned, but he was a gigantic part of their success this year. Perhaps spend the money, because I feel like already there were some missed opportunities, even when I think about like a guy like Garrett Crochet or whoever. It's like, that could have been a Mets guy realistically. And I think sometimes they didn't chase some of these guys hard enough. Whereas the Dodgers unapologetically go for it and normally succeed in doing that, right?
Also, I think that, yes, I think I agree with you that I think Mets fans are sort of getting sick of, correct me if you don't feel this way and you're a Mets fan, but I think overwhelmingly Mets fans do. For whatever it's worth, David Stearns still has that moniker, right? He came from the Brewers, small market, mini market Stearns. I think that you have to stop operating that way if you're ever going to get to where you want to get to, right? I know the payroll is one of the highest in baseball. I'm aware of that. But it almost seems like he just doesn't allocate his resources in the places that he should, right? Yes, you signed Juan Soto, you bit the bullet for that. Okay, are you going to bring back Pete Alonso? Do you really have a better option than Pete Alonso? As Keith Hernandez said, where are you getting 125 RBI next season?
Are you going to let Pete Alonso walk and go to the Yankees? Because that's what people are predicting. Like, grow up. Also,
Get a grip.
Get a grip.
Missed that one.
But miss her.
That was a good one.
But honestly, it's actually really interesting that you bring that up because just now I even said, I'm like, it's not like we're talking about the Brewers and you have to figure out a way to find the money, but I forgot.
You have the money.
But like David Stearns is in a Brewers mindset on a Mets team.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I sincerely feel like it's one of those things. It's like that like poor mentality. It's like, well, he didn't have the money, so now he's like rich and he doesn't know what to do with it. It's like you can break outside of that mentality. There's money that can be utilized here and it is okay to spend. I think he feels nervous about making a bad deal. So he likes to play it a little bit on the safer side, a little bit more conservative. I want you to think like a Dodger.
I agree.
I want you to go for it. Whatever it is, let's take a chance. Let's take a risk. It might not always pay off, but I think that if you're in New York, people like to see you have some guts, man. Have some guts here. It's New York City.
Conservative Stearns is one that I'm ready to let go of. I need him to, and now he's getting into, his third year in this role, third year. I'm ready for him to start thinking. Joke.
Kidding.
Joke.
That was a joke.
I'm ready for him to start pushing the envelope a little bit. But yeah, I think that, the Dodgers, obviously the pitching is the glaring thing and depth at pitching, right? I don't think anybody could have predicted that the Dodgers, that those four got hot right at playoff time. They had a few things that all came together to make this run successful once again in 2025. But yeah, if you're the Mets, you need more depth, you need more starting pitching, you need to prioritize that. I mean, defense, I think hitting with runners in scoring position, there's a whole cast of things that didn't go right for the Mets this year, but I do think that you can look at the Dodgers, what they've been able to do, also with international talent, I might say, all of their players from Japan, foreign scouting, all of that,
about that.
and you can take a page out of that book.
100%, no doubt about it.
Anyway, yes, Soto, as you just said, now we can get into it. He's also a finalist for the NL MVP. If that's a down year for Juan Soto, if that's a down year for Juan, I remain interested in what's going to happen in the years to come. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
3 finalists for the MVP. It's Ohtani, Kyle Schwarber, and Soto. Obviously, Ohtani's gonna win the award. Okay, I just
we all know where this is
It's really not a
headed.
competition. It would be his 3rd straight. It would be his 4th in 5 years. Nobody in the NL is ever gonna win it again.
Wait, that's disgusting.
It's diabolical. He batted .282, 55 home runs, 20 stolen bases, 102 RBI. Obviously, also as a pitcher, he .287 ERA, 62 strikeouts in 47 innings over 14 starts. Anyways.
No one's ever going to win that award again.
No, until Shohei Ohtani retires, the roadblock to winning MVP in the National League is sizable.
It's crazy. And listen, he deserves it, but it's genuinely like, how can you compete if you are not pitching and hitting at the same time?
Well, right, 'cause
as
the
long as
two-way
he's doing
thing, yeah.
a really good job at both, which he always does, it's like going to be tough for anybody to compete.
Not to mention he still won it last year when he only hit.
Right. That's also a good point. He's also like really good at both of those things, even when he does them alone. In any case, yeah, we don't really think there's necessarily so much to debate or discuss there. We both believe that Ohtani is for sure going to win the NL MVP. But still, just to have Juan Soto included in that conversation, to me, is proof and signals that the New York Mets do in fact have a star.
Yes. I think to see Soto, be a finalist, he's going to lose to Ohtani, much like Lindor lost to Ohtani last year, or the Mets, the little brother of the Dodgers. It's the 3rd time Soto's an MVP finalist in his career. Obviously, Soto this year, 43 home runs, 38 stolen bases. We need to get into that more because Soto tripled his previous career high in steals. He decided to start running, which I love. 105 RBI, 120 runs, and a major league best 127 walks. He's not going to win it, but love to see Soto in a down year still be a finalist. And also, Kyle Schwarber is an intriguing character to the program right now. I wouldn't say friend of the program, but an intriguing character to keep your eye on. First time he's ever an MVP finalist. He obviously was 2nd in the NL, 56 home runs, he won one more than Ohtani. So he had the most home runs in the NL, 56. And he led the majors with 132 RBI. And I'm just going to say it, if Pete takes a walk, who could be an intriguing signing for the New York Mets.
On over, man.
Walk on over. Philadelphia to New York, it's about an hour, not too far.
Pack your bags. Come on over.
Let's
It's
get it
still in the
going.
Northeast, man.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。